Hey, what's up everybody? It's Gore here. This week, got something cool for you guys. I told you I had something cool coming up. I actually have an interview with writer Rick Remender. I'm actually about to call him right now. So, let's cross our fingers and hope he's home.
Rick?
Hey Rick, it's Gore. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Nothing much. How are you, sir?
I am writing a story where Deadpool farts out ghosts that melt people like the Indiana Jones ghosts.
That's pretty interesting. Not for nothing.
When you're doing a Deadpool story, you gotta do something with fart ghosts.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Deadpool farting. Farts are always funny, period, but Deadpool, that's even funnier.
Yeah, I just recreated the end of Indiana Jones.
Thank God.
Deadpool's basically been force-fed for 4 months by a goth girl in a Weight Watchers prison. And he's 1,000 pounds. He's about to be killed. His stomach rumbles. He bends over and lets go of the farts. The farts shoot out like ghosts. Of course, one of the workers looks at it and he says, "It's beautiful!" And then it melts his face. Oh, stupidness.
Comic books are so much fun, aren't they?
They're supposed to be. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah. So, I appreciate you taking my interview, taking my phone call, because it was kind of a stab in the dark. I mean, I've been a big fan of yours for a long time, actually, and I just happened to see you on Facebook, and I was like, ooh, I'd always love to talk to Rick Remender and just kind of pick his brains, so I figured I'd give it a shot, and sure enough, you came through.
Well, I'm a real treat to talk to, so just, bask in it all. I'm happy to do it. I'm on short time. I've got about 20 minutes.
Well, that's cool. This will just take probably about 15, 20 minutes anyway.
Perfect.
Just got a couple of questions I want to pick your brain with, and, let's go do your thing.
Yeah, it's nice.
Alright, so the hot topic on everybody's brain. Where did you come up with the concept to make the Punisher Frankenstein, so to speak?
When did it exactly come together? Tony Moore and I have been working on something that we wanted to do with Jason Aaron and Matt Fraction. We were all talking about this big crossover thing where we were going to, where I had the idea for the Monster Metropolis down underneath New York and all of this stuff, and it was going to be sort of a Friends of Darkness with Ghost Rider and Punisher and Wolverine. And we had some ideas for Frankenstein himself, about how that character could work, and eventually the spirit of vengeance could go into Frankenstein, and he could become this husk that then just absorbs all of the spirits of vengeance. And we had all these really crazy big ideas, and the thing didn't come together. We just all, just got too busy. But it's definitely something we would still like to do. But anyway, the outline I took to pretty crazy, and I locked down and wrote, a bunch of pages about the Monster Metropolis down underneath New York, where all of the monsters had been congregating. And so when I was writing the story where Frank was going to die, and I knew he had to die, it seems to me that the character, as badass as he is, had bitten off more than he could chew. And it also added some weight to Norman Osborn, and gave him a success that I felt was pretty needed in the Dark Reign. So, as I knew Frank was going to die, we started to sort of think in terms of what to do next. And I was doing some research on a powder called extracellular matrix, which is a real thing that can basically regenerate, fingers. There's a video on YouTube you can watch about a guy who works in a hobby shop who had half his finger cut cheeky, you know, like right back to status quo, right back to Frank. You know, Henry puts it back together with this powder or something. And then I started thinking about, because I basically had Doc and cut him up and drop him into an alley, into the sewers. I was thinking about the Monster Metropolis, and I got to thinking, like, you know, why don't the things in the Marvel Universe cross-pollinate more often? You know, there naturally wouldn't just be, I'm a street warrior, so I only deal with Spider-Man, Daredevil, and the Kingpin, and whoever else is on the street. Nobody else, you know, come to my part of the world. It just doesn't make any logical sense. These characters don't intertwine in more haphazard, sort of chaotic ways. And so I got to thinking, you know, if this Monster Metropolis was down there, and that's where Frank got dropped, you know, the ideas that I had were Morbius and all these guys are guarding the Marvel monsters from some attacking force. It seemed to me like that would be a pretty great place to drop Frank into. And I started talking to Tony about it and Axel, and we all felt, you know, head over heels in love with the idea. You know, it's just one of those things that you can only do in the Marvel Universe because of the scope of the shared world. And so we got to working on it, and you know, it seemed like a lot of fun. So we just got to working on Morbius putting Frank back together, and it also then, you know, there was some nice analogies to play off of with Frank being of the monster inside coming outside, which for me was something I was going to explore anyway, given that in issue 10, Frank basically had to, you know, rebury his family. After the Hood resurrected them, Frank just killed them, not trusting that they weren't, you know, ghouls or whatever it was that was going on in Frank's head. He just put them right back down, and that's gotta linger with Frank for, you know, in the next couple 2-3 arcs as well. It's gonna play a big role in where he's at. And so, taking that internal monster that was so well exposed in issue 10, and then actually giving him a physical manifestation, we all went crazy for it. Tony got to work on some designs, and then I got to work on figuring out a villain for Frank, and I wanted somebody who would be sort of help progress in Frank in his, you know, symbolic sort of mission, you know, which is what Frank and Castle is in a lot of ways, where the villain was somebody who was sort of in, you know, and not a mirror image of Frank, but somebody who had been sort of through similar things, where Frank could you know, turn to hunting this guy, and it would be sort of symbolic and an analogy for Frank sort of hunting himself after all he's done.
Pretty cool idea, not for nothing.
Sorry?
I said it was a pretty cool idea, not for nothing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is the kind of stuff that I'll be doing more and more of at Marvel. I just, you know, this is what I like to write. This gets me and Tony and the guys I like to work with excited. You know, when we get that excited, it means that we're going to put everything we have into the books. There's not going to, you know, we've killed ourselves on this to try and make sure that it's just as good as we can possibly make it. And the response has been terrific. You know, of course, there's some diehard Punisher fans and people. I find that the majority of people who want to shit on it haven't read it, and that's always fun, you know, because prior to investigation being the first order of